Hello, my name is GregTech and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 3. Last episode, we went ahead and finally got our very brightly colored coils, our TPV alloy coil blocks, so we can smelt our niobium titanium. Unfortunately, I do not have tungsten steel, so I can't actually make the disk drives that can hold the fluids until I get tungsten. So I am gonna do that. We're gonna get our first tungsten. Also, I am replacing the Canthal blocks with the nichrome because that should speed this up. Or I don't know if it's sped up or does it process more at once. Oops. I can't remember the actual... Was that 16 seconds? I feel like that was 16 seconds. So I think the time that it takes just went down. If you look at the controller, it does say processing speed scales. All right, yeah. So it just goes faster. 150% as opposed to 100%. I wasn't sure if it just processed... I didn't think it processed more. It just does it quicker. So that is good. I haven't even checked this in a long time. 2,888 stacks of charcoal. We still have room for 4,000. Those ruby storage drawer things are insane. Yeah, before it was emerald up to 32 times. Now there's like ruby, which is 64, and then there's an even bigger one that's 128. I didn't have any of the tanzanite for the biggest ones, but I will probably just throw a void thing on there. I still have to do the void things manually because it does require a 9 on the bending machine, and I don't have one of those. I don't have that circuit of 9 set up. I just have 1 and 10 because we rarely ever do that. But all right, just wanted to show that we are speeding up the Pyrolyse oven. I think we are still producing enough spruce wood from our farm, but I don't really know. We'll let that run. All right, but so if I want to get the tungsten, we're going to have to process the tungstate down that we are getting. So as we know, we are doing this recipe, our endstone dust. We are growing this to get our tungstate. And then I need to process this down. I believe it's this one. I'm going to add that. And then you process this down. You get scheelite. And you get a lot of the stuff back, which is kind of nice. So tungstate, sodium, gets sodium, tungstate, and lithium. And then this, you mix it with calcium chloride to get the scheelite, but then the scheelite you process with hydrochloric acid and you get the calcium chloride back. And then you can use the calcium chloride to get the scheelite. So that is a circular recipe. You also get salt. So you can use the salt for the hydrochloric acid. So there is a lot of like closed loop things. And then the tungstic acid is what we will do there to get tungsten trioxide dust. And then finally, we will do this to get our tungsten. I believe that's what we're going to do. We can also do this recipe to get the tungsten dust directly, and then we can mix that to get our tungsten steel. So, yeah. I don't know if we're going to be smelting the tungsten at the moment. So, yeah, we take our tungstate, get our scheelite, then get our tungsten trioxide, then get our tungsten, and then tungsten steel. So, quite a process there, and that will get us the things for our storage doors. Not storage doors. Storage. Here, let me 4K, not 3K, 4K. I think we'll do this. So we really only need like 2. Also, why is... All right, there is a assembler recipe, and then you combine them in a crafting, but unfortunately this does not have a assembler recipe. So I think this is what we're going to do. So I have to kind of figure out everything we need. Now, one of the kind of main issues, I wouldn't even call it like really an issue, is that I believe one of these processes, yes, requires EV. So we're going to have to craft up a couple things. Now, that would kind of be over here, I guess, because it's kind of like a chemistry thing. Question is, how are we going to get EV power? I do have EV power coming in here. Or do we... Because this is, to be honest, this is kind of temporary. Once you start getting tungsten or scheelite, I believe, you kind of cut out part of the recipe. No, that also requires that. Okay, so I'm kind of wondering if that is something I should do in the main base. I don't know. Let me figure this one out and we'll come back. Okay, so there is the advanced autoclave, and I've been kind of going back and forth between do I want to set it up over here, or do I just want to set it up in the base? And I'm thinking I may just set it up in here. This isn't a big setup, and I have my stuff like all kind of near. And I also need a mixer for the tungsten steel, so I'm kind of like, yeah, let's maybe do it in here. I should probably set up a couple more lapitrons, although I have disconnected the... Oh, that's right, I still have the clean room. It's still going down here. I was going to disconnect that cable, but yeah, the clean room is still going that way. I'm thinking eventually we will get this upgraded so it's not on the main line. So basically what we're doing here, this will be replaced with EV, so I will probably move this EU P2P. I'm stuck. Let me out. There we go. I'll probably move that like back here or something like that and then have this coming in. But yeah, like I said, there seems to be a bit of an issue with the P2P and the transformers. The machine hull seems to be fine, but the transformers doesn't seem to like request an amp or whatever, however it works. Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, we'll put this in the main base. And what we're gonna do... Could set it up over here. Kind of out of the way. We're going to have the autoclave and the... Yeah, I think we'll do autoclave. And I'll just connect to here. And we are back so I've started setting this up with a large chemical reactor and then our autoclave here. I have it being filled with water from underneath. I have the tungstate and the sodium. Now, originally I was going to keep the sodium in stock with a interface, and then I realized I can actually just pipe the sodium back in to the process. So it's a closed loop with the sodium. Now, this produces the sodium tungstate. I've also crafted up a quadruple input hatch. I can finally craft that up. It's just 12 stainless steel and an EV machine hull. You do need the EV assembler, which we have now. So we're good there. So I am extracting the fluid out of there, inserting on brown. I just broke this down, so that is why this stuff is wrong. We're going to get lithium out of this. So the lithium needs to go back in the A system. I did have the interface right here, so I think I will do that. I just got to make sure. Let's do blue. All right, so I think, yeah, that will keep that. We won't do the sodium. Actually, that just realized that might not work for how I want to do this. We're going to get the... Oh, yeah. So the electrolyzer, I did set that up correctly. So that will be on the back. Now I need to connect this. To this. So this will deal with the salt that comes out of the recipe. All right, conduits. I forgot to craft those. So I do have this hooked up. Yep. And then we have the sodium chloride in there, or sodium tungstate. Let's turn this on. And then the sodium chloride, or calcium chloride, should go in there, and then that should do that. We're getting our scheelite and our salt. So we are going to output the salt into here, but I do need a thing there, so we'll do brown. Try to get away from using green as a channel because you kind of mess everything up when you add stuff. Salt. So salt will go in there. Process that down. Then the sodium will come out here and go into here. So I guess that is brown. Should pull the sodium out, and then the sodium goes in there. All right, and then that processes the tungstate, which is going to be in there, which we are getting from this process, but we have gone through all our tungstate. And I actually don't have this hooked up to the A system. So we'll have to sort that out. But yeah, so there we go. That goes in there. The tungstate goes in. The sodium tungstate goes in there, and then works. And then the chlorine needs to be mixed with hydrogen to get the hydrochloric acid. So I think I may put it back in here. So we could even do this. Color did I? Brown. Think that'll be okay. So that is going to take the chlorine and put it in there. Now I should be able to mix the chlorine with the hydrochloric acid and get what we need out of this. So I'm going to have to add another interface or another input hatch. And then get hydrogen in here. I'm going to put this here. Hydrogen. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Tetrahydrofuran. Polytetrahydrofuran. Toluene? How do we say that again? Toluene? It's totally not that. I looked it up and we said it. Tetramethyl diisocyanate. Molten PTMEG elastomer. And finally, that's like a plastic. Man. That's a thing. Probably for future. Oh, I disconnected this. You know what? I'm actually, while I'm here too, I'm gonna... Those. Oh, I've locked myself in here, haven't I? All right, there we go. Connected it up there. So there's our hydrogen. We have our chlorine in the thing. Now, do I have a output hatch? Don't think I added the output hatch. We could put this and turn this into a output hatch for the hydrochloric acid. And then put it up into there. I think I need like a 1 or a... What do we need for hydrochloric acid? Yeah, a 1. Okay. So there is that. Should be turning that into hydrochloric acid. And there we go. It's back in the thing. And then we have our scheelite, which is being processed down. Into tungstic acid and calcium chloride. So that should be in there, which it is. All right, cool. So the calcium chloride is going to go back into the input bus. So we'll add that. Want to make sure that goes back in. Calcium chloride. Right, there we go. That goes back in there. And then that processes the scheelite back. And then we get the scheelite back, and then the salt goes in there. Sodium goes back in the autoclave, and then the chlorine goes back in there, which gets turned into hydrochloric acid, which works with the scheelite. Oh, that's pretty fun, actually. It would be easier if we had multi-blocks, so I didn't have to deal with the small ones, but that actually isn't too bad, because this stuff doesn't require using empty cells. So our tungstic acid is then what's going to go in our blast furnace. So that needs to go into our interface. Unfortunately, that I'm gonna have to figure out how I want to. I could go this way. Do that. And then we'll get rid of that. And then we'll put this back in there. I need to craft up another filter. But I think that... Actually, I'm not going to do that yet because I don't have a filter on there. That might screw up the salt. I don't want like salt or anything going in there. Okay, so there we go. There is tungstic acid. That should be pulling that out. And there we go. Back into the A system. So I think that is 100% automated. Now, the tungstic acid. Make a recipe for that. I guess we'll do furnace to that. I need to put another thing in there, but I think I will, for now, we'll do that. Wasn't there more? Wasn't there like 100 and something in there? Did that go? That might have gone back somewhere. Wasn't there like 100 and something tungstic acid in there? There it is. I was like, I thought that was... I thought I had more than that. The lithium, is that not being pulled out? Think that's okay now because I switched it to blue. I think it was, I don't know. We'll see if it works completely. But all right, so here is our tungstick. So we'll do one. Double check that this works. All right, so there is the tungsten trioxide, and then this. I think we will do that. Now this does require a 2 and some hydrogen. So this one's a little bit more awkward. Because I don't actually have hydrogen. Now that I have quadruple input hatches, I need to sort out this as well. So gotta figure out where we want to put a quadruple input hatch, and then we will hook it up to the A system. So maybe like one of these, and then we will just hook it up. Okay, so there is the quadruple input hatch, and then we will do our nitrogen, hydrogen, and we might have another one, possibly one of like the argon or neon or one of those, not neon, but helium. But I think for now, nitrogen, and that will be okay. I don't know if we're going to have issues with the 2. I feel like there used to be issues with putting a circuit of 2. tungsten. No, tungsten. So the 2. Yeah, it was something with those. All right, nothing's jumping out, so I think we might actually be okay. I just put the 2 in there. My bags are full. Okay. That helps. Two. All right. So tungsten. What was it, like 7 to that? So 20. Oh, I'm getting 4. I'm miscalculating that. We get 4 from the. I was thinking it was 7 to 1, but it's 7 to 4. All right. I will get another pattern thing for sure for our blast furnace, but okay, cool. So there is that, and then tungsten trioxide. I guess I'll just dump that back in, and we'll see. I think it was the, you know what, now that I'm remembering, I think it was mixing it with carbon. Having recipes that use carbon as well. I think that was what was the conflict. Because there is quite a few of those. For example, alumina. I do the alumina with carbon, but unfortunately this tungsten trioxide, if you mix it with carbon, you get the ingots. So that, now I'm remembering, that was what the conflict was. I would have to have that on a separate thing. But now that we have the quadruple input hatch, I do have some, I can actually break that now. I have some extra places we can put input buses. Okay, well, that should be tungsten. Yes, there we go. That is our first tungsten. Also, there is probably quests that I have forgotten to do. Yep. It wanted me to hold 36 scheelite and 24 salt. We did have that in the... we had that sitting in there, but it got all processed down. Oh well. And then Tungstensteel. I'm just going to throw this in a chest for now. Because I don't have this mixer hooked up. There we go. There is our Tungstensteel. And then we should be good to go in here. Yes. All right. So there we go. There is Tungstensteel, our first Tungstensteel. I might try to get the recipe done, or the quest done. Unfortunately, I processed all our tungstate down, so I might actually maybe want to get some more yellow lilies, stone lilies. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna stress too much about that. I really wanted, I'd much rather do the crop stuff. But unfortunately that needs UU matter. Also, I have no idea what the meta is for getting UU matter. It used to be those AE fluid drops, but I don't know if that is like still a thing. All right, I'm gonna cancel those. I'm gonna cancel that. And actually gonna cancel that because I forgot to put the Tungstensteel back in the A system from in here. But okay, with that, we will be able to get the fluid storage housing. We can make a recipe for that. I cannot because I don't have the patterns for it, and I probably need to smelt. See, that's going to cause an issue. If I have that sitting in there, actually, it's not that one. That would cause the issue, but yeah, if I went to craft up aluminum with the tungstic acid in there, tungsten trioxide, we would not be getting what I want. But yeah, so I will craft that up, and then we can get to fluid crafting. And I think that will be really cool. I can finally like start automating cables and stuff like that with like a molten fluid. I think I may start switching a lot of these recipes over sooner than later as well. So instead of just putting the recipes, the plates in there, I might, oh, not that one. Yeah. One of these has the machine holes. I don't remember which. There they are, yeah. So instead of just putting the casings and the things, I might add the molten polyethylene to the recipe, but we'll have to do that next episode. So anyway, that's going to be for today. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.